Good morning, and welcome to our 8th weekly webcast. If you have any questions, please type them in the comments field on the side there. I see we have a couple people that have posted questions already, so please post as many questions as you want to during this call, and this call will only end once there's no more questions, which means we can do this for 8 or 10 hours if you want, but usually after 3 hours, there's no more questions. So please type your questions now. So I've got a question from Geronimo. Good morning, Geronimo. How are you? Your question is, hello from Brazil. Hi. I've seen your videos in YouTube, and I would like to know what's your editing workflow and process to do, and what tools are used. Thank you. So what I do is, when I first started doing this, I used iMovie, which everyone has on their Macs, because I use it to film my kids. So they do serve a purpose. Kidding. And then what I did was I graduated to Final Cut Pro, which you can download for a free trial from the App Store for 30 days. And Final Cut Pro is really, really easy to use. I find that Adobe products are a little bit harder for me to use. And so what I do is I record everything on either an iPhone or my M50 Canon camera, or my drone, which is 4K. Hi, I'm a nerd. And then I import all that stuff directly into Final Cut. And then what I do is I then put it together that way, and then I upload it to YouTube or to my Udemy courses. Now, in terms of the microphone, so when you vlog with a drone, and I've got the Mavic Pro Focus 2, when you vlog, so drones don't have audio included. And so as a result, you have to have another microphone. And so I have a lavalier hooked up to a little audio box. And what we'll do is, as we write up today's webcast, go to the description field, and right beside your question, Geronimo, I will post a link to my vlog that's 40 minutes long that teaches you exactly how to film and put stuff online. And I encourage everybody on this webcast to teach. We all have something to teach. And I have 2 free courses on Udemy. One is called 40 Tips on How to Make a Great Online Course. And it's based on 40 mistakes that I've made over the past 12 months. So you can work smarter, not harder, when you teach. The second course is called Another 40 Tips for Teaching Online. I do this every year, and it's a free course. So that's why I recommend doing. If you're going to use audio and do these things, only use the Blue Yeti. Here's the Blue Yeti here. And this thing here is called a pop. You see them with music stars on TV, whatever, because without it, the sounds of the P's and B's go through to the microphone, so it blocks the air. And so that's my setup, so to speak. And I'm always trying to improve it. I made a lot of mistakes. I've got what's called a gimbal, which is something I walk around with from a company called DJI. It looks like this here. Okay, camera not included, but this little thing, it's called a gimbal, and it will stabilize when you film. So anyway, if you're going to buy a drone, buy it from DJI as well. They're the only game in town. So hopefully that answers your question, Geronimo. Thank you very much. And if anybody else has questions, please type your questions right now. I see we have a number of people on the call, so please type your questions now, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And Willem, I see you joined us. And every week, whenever Willem is on the call, because he was the guy that guessed what this ID is, I have to give him a shout out. So anybody else in this call guess what this is? What movie is this from? Willem, you cannot answer that. So I'll wait. All right. So yeah, if you have questions, please type your questions here, and then we'll continue to answer the questions here. Oh, you're welcome, Geronimo. Super. Thank you very much. And for those of you that haven't seen my, I just posted last night or yesterday my 30-minute speech I gave in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, on the future of education. So check that out if you get a chance. I had a lot of fun putting it together. Brazil is a wonderful country. I absolutely loved it. I loved it. It was amazing. And good job, Geronimo. You're right. It was the movie Superbad. So again, if anybody has questions, please type them right now here, and then we'll answer them as I see them here. Here's another one here from Zachary. Good morning. Chris, what else do you do other than teaching on Udemy? It's a great question. Thank you. I play Fortnite competitively. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. My kids do. They play a lot. So what I also do is I do charity work. I try to help as many people as I can. I give speeches. I'll give keynotes every now and then. That sort of thing. That's what I do. That's what I do. I write book. I vlog. And every day, what I do is I try to help other people. And I'm a little bit different from a lot of people because I actually get depressed somebody every single day. It makes me feel good. I'm sure a lot of people are like that too. So that's what I do. That's what I do. I try my best to help people. So yeah, if anybody else has questions, please let me know. I do a lot of guest lectures as well. I used to teach during the evenings at a number of different Bay Area schools, San Francisco State. I did a lot of guest lecturing at Berkeley, Stanford Business School. I still do a lot at Stanford. And if you're a student at Stanford Business School, I'm going to be in Ilya's class teaching venture capital in the next couple of months. So look for that if you want. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. I got rejected by Stanford, so it's kind of fun that I can go there and share my thoughts on business. So that's what I do. That's what I do, and I love it. So again, if you're just joining us, please enter your questions here. Question from the Dane. How are you? Coming to Copenhagen anytime soon. I don't have it on my schedule right now, but if I were to do a guest lecture there or a keynote or whatever, I'd love to meet with you there. Thank you for that. So again, if you have questions, please enter them now, and I'll answer the questions as you type them, and ask as many questions as you want. Haroun, how are you? I always love to see you on the call because your first name rhymes with my last name. So Haroun's got a question. How do Bitcoins work? Okay, great question. And how will Bitcoins change the transaction process in the future? Okay, so what I'll do actually is I was anticipating a question like this. So I'm going to explain Bitcoin and the blockchain from scratch, okay? And I've got a number of props like I usually do. All right, so the way that Bitcoins work, and the reason that cryptocurrencies were invented was because of the financial crisis in 2008. And a lot of people were upset because it wasn't fair that governments could change the value of currency. If you think about it, if you work really hard and you make money, say it's US dollars, it's not fair that the Federal Reserve can change the value of those dollars, although that the value of dollars going up now because interest rates are rising, unfortunately. I can talk about that if you want me to. And so in 2008, when we were in this crazy financial crisis and we were within 24 hours of bank machines all over the world not working, what happened was people got upset because their governments were printing more money. And it was really unfortunate because everybody's net worth went down a lot. For example, in Zimbabwe, and this is tragic, in Zimbabwe, the average daily inflation rate in the fall of 2008 was literally 98%. That means the value of their money decreased by close to, by a lot every day. Okay. So what happened was there's this guy named Satoshi Nakamoto. And we don't know exactly where Satoshi lives, what his or her name is, or their name. We don't know if it's a bunch of people or a person, whatever. This person was living in London. What Satoshi did was he created Bitcoin. Okay, and all Bitcoin is, and I'll get to this in a second. He sent the first Bitcoin transaction in 2009, January 12th. All Bitcoin is basically he created this program online. Okay, and if you were able to use a mining computer or any computer, and I have a bunch of them. I have a bunch of them here. This here is a Bitcoin mining. Oh, jeez. I'm okay. I'm okay. Don't worry. That hurts. I'm all right. I've spilled my coffee. Now what am I going to do? Jeez. All right. Give me 1 second. I got a computer here. I got to clean this up on. All right. Unedited. Wrigley, make this the image of this week's thing, please. All right. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to clip this coffee mess here. I have a drinking problem. Just kidding, with coffee. So I spilled this a little bit. It's okay though. I'm all right. So this here is a cup my dad gave me for Christmas when I was a kid. It says workaholic, which clearly I am right now. All right, where was I? All right, so what happened was Satoshi created the software program. And the software program was on the internet. And if you used a Bitcoin mining machine, which can also spill coffee like I showed you just now, but if you use a Bitcoin mining machine and you break that secure algorithm, the software that Satoshi put out there, then what happens is you get a Bitcoin for free. Okay. And a Bitcoin is worth a lot of money, obviously. And what happens is it's kind of like when you have a broken arm. When you break your arm or your leg, it grows back stronger. And that software algorithm grows back stronger. And so the next person that tries to break that software algorithm will have to work harder, will have to have a better computer. And 81% of all Bitcoin mining pools or computers online that break the Bitcoin make it stronger in China now, because the cost of electricity in China is very, very cheap. Okay. And so there's something called the blockchain, and the blockchain is central to all of cryptocurrencies. And I can explain what the blockchain means. Okay. So what happens is a blockchain is like a digital ledger. Okay. So a ledger is a book where you write debits and credits and boring accounting stuff. And this is a more secure way of having a ledger. And so what happened was January 12th of 2009, Satoshi created the first blockchain, okay, the first transaction. And he sent it to his buddy, Hal. Okay, that's a block, and my chains are up there for my crypto course. And he put a unique number on it. Okay, that was the address of the first the first blockchain or Bitcoin transaction. And what he did was he sent it to somebody else. And then what happened was somebody else made another block that attached to the chain. And this block kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then what happened was Satoshi realized that you can put anything you want in these things, and these other cryptocurrencies were created, like Ethereum. And when new cryptocurrencies are listed, they're actually listed on Ethereum's platform. Okay, Ethereum is not just a cryptocurrency; it's a platform. And so what happened was Ethereum was created. It's a separate blockchain. Okay, so I'm going to put Bitcoin away, and I'm going to talk about Ethereum. Okay, all right. So Ethereum was created, and what happened was Ethereum, the creators realized that they could actually put other stuff in the blockchain, like contracts, like a sports contract, right? Or historical documents as well. Okay? And any type of documents you could think of could be part of that blockchain. Okay. And so whenever you hear of a new cryptocurrency being created, it's being created because of the limitations of other cryptocurrencies. And so Bitcoin is very slow. It's old school. Okay. It's kind of like what Yahoo is, and Ethereum is like Google. That's actually a good analogy. And so every time a new cryptocurrency is created, and most of them are scams, but every time a new one is created, they address problems that previous cryptocurrencies had. Okay, so hopefully that answered your question about that. I'm happy to talk about cryptocurrencies in much more detail, or business or personal finance or career development stuff. If you're just joining us, you didn't see me spill my coffee on my computer here. It's okay though. All right, so hopefully that answers your question. Thank you. So if you have questions, please type them here. I'm surprised I didn't get a down arrow. Can I get a couple of up arrows because I made a fool of myself with this coffee on my computer? Thanks. Likes, I mean. All right, so I got, wow, a bunch of questions came through here. All right, so next question we've got is, okay, great. So it's from Fat Shadow 92. Hi. Hey, Chris, thanks for everything you do. How do you figure out if your business idea is viable in a particular area? For example, a male apparel store in a niche market. Okay, so, and I'll make these questions, the answers generic enough so it applies to everybody. Thank you to that one person that put the like there. Appreciate it. So I'm creating this course, the Complete Business Plan course. Pardon me. It'll be out soon. And what I'll do is it's generic enough so that anybody can enter in information into this Excel spreadsheet I'm creating, and automatically it will be created for you as an entire business plan. Okay. And one of the first things I think about is the management team. Okay, so make sure that your management team is credible. Okay, and so you mentioned you're starting a male clothing store, apparel store. Um, if you don't have experience in that area, it's going to be hard to raise money or to get customers sometimes. So what I would do is, if you can't get partners to come on board that have a lot of experience with the clothing industry or whatever industry you're in, then what you can do is this: you can hire a board of advisors for free. And what this means is this: so, in order for investors and other people to take you more seriously in your business model, you can approach people using the networking methodologies that I teach, and you can get them to join your company as a board for people that have a great background. So, say you find somebody that went to the same school as you, that's from the same hometown as you, that works for Ralph Lauren, ticker RL. What you could do is you can get that person to join your board. And the way to do that is, I have this book, it's over 200 pages. It's every tip I've ever thought of based on successful people I've met with on how to network. So please go to harounventures.com and just download my networking book for free. And I promise you that will help you a lot in getting people to join your company as board advisors, which is free. And if you're curious about the difference between a board advisor, a board observer, or a board director, watch my vlog on that topic, or I can answer it here if somebody asks that question as well. And so the management team is the most important thing. And the problem with MBA schools is that they don't teach you how to analyze management teams. We analyze business models, which is a waste of time. We should always start off with analyzing the management team or selling our own management team, make ourselves look better. So focus on management. The second thing you want to focus on, which I mentioned at the beginning of my entire MBA course, is the size of the market. And there's a lot of venture capital firms that I've met with, partner with, that won't invest in companies unless the size of the market is massive. And I'll give you an example. So there's a partner from Kleiner Perkins who guest lectured in one of my classes. And he said that Kleiner Perkins never invests in a company unless that company is in a market that's $20 billion, meaning a total addressable market size of $20 billion. And the reason is that if that company is successful, which is rare, most venture capital investments go to zero. But if that company makes it, then if that company gets 5% share of a $20 billion market, that's $1 billion in annual revenue. So anyway, management comes first with all business models, then the size of the market, and then other stuff after that, which seems counterintuitive. That's just the way it works. Okay, great. And so if you have more questions about the clothing market, please let me know. All right, so next we have is this Michael Jordan, Eloc, and that's such a cool name, man. I got this Michael Jordan thing. I got to show you. Michael Jordan's not just he's not just a baller. He's one of my best Udemy students, and he's an actor now too, right? All right, so Michael Jordan's got a question. Hi, Chris. This is my first time in your Hangouts. I enjoy your courses tremendously. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thanks, MJ. Number 23, right? Okay, so next, James, good morning. How are you? Okay, Jochen, I got a question here. And please enter your questions here online. Thank you, guys. I started an online platform for charities and I'm so sorry, but my laptop mouse is not working now because of the coffee I spilt on it. It's okay. All right, so question here. I started an online platform for charities to turn volunteer time into cash donations. Well, that's cool. It's not your future job, but it's very fulfilling. It's not progressing as I anticipated. When is it time to abandon ship? Okay, that's a great question. So the question is, when do you give up on a startup? And I always give it 2 years. Okay, and I always tell people that too. So when you start a company, give it 2 years. And if after the 2-year mark to the day, put it in your calendar, I want you to go for a walk and think to yourself, if I had known about all the new issues and challenges I've uncovered in the past 2 years with this company, would I have even started it 2 years ago? If the answer is no, then it's okay to pull a plug, man. It's cool. Failure is cool. It's not shameful. And Everybody that's ever become incredibly successful in business has failed more times than you and I have combined. Okay. You only have to be right in business once. And one more Michael Jordan quote, and I promise this is the last Michael Jordan quote, but Michael Jordan said, and I made an entire vlog on Michael Jordan, so you got to watch that if you get a chance. But Michael Jordan said, I failed over and over and over and over again. And that's why I succeed. So it's cool to fail. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And this course I'm creating now will help you create a business plan, which will really decrease the chance of you failing in a venture. So give it 2 years always. And for those of you that invest in stocks, or real estate, or bonds, or currencies, or cryptocurrencies, what I recommend doing is this. Okay, I have a free template I've created for you. You go to harounventures.com/template, all lowercase, harounventures.com/template. And you write up a 1-page report. Okay, and I have a template for you. And I have an example of a company called NetSuite that I wrote a template for at that web address I gave you. And fill out that template before you invest. And if you want to sell that stock or close your company or whatever it might be, go back and read that original report. Okay. And if in that report, you did not highlight risks or issues that you've uncovered in the past 2 years, then there's no shame in pulling the plug. It's okay. And actually, a lot of times in Silicon Valley here in venture capital, we love investing in people that have started companies before, even if they failed. So we don't care. It's just they have the courage to go out there and try to make their dent in the world. So anyway, give it 2 years. Okay, great. So hopefully that answered your question, and good for you for starting a charity. One of my first companies was I started an online charity in Canada. It was called Canadian Internet Charity Consulting. And for those of you that want to look through the Internet archives, go to an archive website and search for CICC.com. That's Canadian Internet Charity Consulting. And I'm a big loser because when I shut down the charity, when I was in business school, there was a big Chinese company, the biggest Chinese bank, CICC.com, took that web address. I could have made a fortune from it. That's okay. All right. So next question I've got here is from Geronimo. And again, if you have questions, please type them here. You said in one of your last videos that platforms businesses are the best businesses. What areas do you think may be the best to create a platform? I think any industry. Okay, so if you think about it, Bitcoin is a platform. Okay, cryptocurrency is a platform. The blockchain is a platform for future contracts or cryptocurrencies or whatever it might be. And LinkedIn is a great human resources platform. Google is a search platform. So I think the best platform for you to think about making in the future as you think about creating your next business model include platforms for e-commerce initiatives that have not been created yet. Okay, so a couple of years ago, the education platform market didn't really exist. Okay, so instead of chasing education platforms, chase other sectors, right? Maybe it's a platform for charities to donate on or whatever it might be. But just always think about business models in terms of how scalable they can be. And what that means is this. If you own the road, meaning the platform, you can charge the cars. And try to think of the cars as your customers creating content, so you don't have to. You own that ecosystem, okay? And you can make money off charging the cars and through toll booths, etc. And for those of you that have more questions on platforms, you can go back and watch my vlog on platforms, which I published the other day. And so, again, if you have questions, please type them here. I'm going to answer the next question now. My mouse is going everywhere because of that coffee spill. Hold on one second. So sorry about this. Thanks for your patience. All right. Next question I've got is, how would a 45-year-old with no consulting or finance background get hired at Goldman Sachs? Is it even possible? Of course it's possible. Absolutely. Absolutely. And just like how it's easier to get into law school or MBA school if you're older, okay? I think it's going to be easier to get into some firms if you're older as well. And I'm an alumni of Goldman Sachs. And actually, it's so funny you mentioned that because 2 days ago, 2 days if you're not in Europe, there you go. England, that's insulting. 2 days ago, I got a mass email from Goldman Sachs, all alumni, saying they have a new program where older people that have been retired for a couple of years you can come back to work. And I think in the future that ageism or age discrimination is going to be a serious issue and not politically correct. As I get older, I can say that, right? But you can definitely do it. All you have to do is network and just use the fundamentals I mentioned on my homepage. Download my book for free on how to network. But you can absolutely do it. Absolutely do it. Definitely. And I believe, and I mentioned in my Brazil speech, which I published yesterday in my vlog, that there's going to be a 70-year-old rock star one day. Okay, a brand new rock star. I don't understand why people think that you could only be a rock star or start a company or be very successful in one area in your 20s or 30s. You can do it when you're older too. And the interesting thing is that the person that's going to live to 150 years old is alive today. It's true. I see so much money in the Bay Area here going into for life happen. This is an interesting stat, but since 1950, the average age or the average life expectancy globally has increased by 26 years. What does that mean? That means that you, all of you, unless you're under 26, you're all 26 years younger than you think. So you mentioned there that you're 45 and you want to work at Goldman. Well, you're not 45, right? You're 19. There we go. So you can reinvent yourself any point you want in your career. And society is changing to the extent that, the millennial generation, which is my favorite generation, they're not going to work for one company forever. They don't know what a pension is, and neither do I. They're going to work for many people and have many side jobs. And so absolutely, you can work at Goldman at the age of 45. There's no reason you can't. In a lot of companies, like I've worked at a lot of companies, and there's always been that one person, that woman or man that's 10 or 20 years older than me in the start class. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. All you got to do is make it happen. And there's no competition for you because most people don't believe that it can happen. So you'll be the first. And again, go to harounventures.com, download my free networking book, and you can make it happen. I'm going to hold this with two hands now as I drink so I don't spill it. Okay, if you have questions, please type them here. Thank you. Okay, great. So next question we've got is from Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Hope all's well. The information I provided is great. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, and I'm just scrolling down. My mouse is going crazy because I spilled coffee. Okay. Okay. Why do I do all my YouTube stuff? Okay. So I do it because I want to help. I want to help. And it's fun. It's fun. And I gave my students a promise 73 days ago when I posted my first vlog. And I said that I am going to vlog for you all every single day without exception for the next 10 years. I will not miss a day. And it's my way to, I don't know, to give something back, to help. And I'm older and I made a lot of mistakes and I've had some successes too. And so I want to humbly help. I just want to help. That's what I want to do. So anyway, you can always watch any of my vlogs, do a search on a certain topic, and hopefully it will help you out there. That's why I do it. Okay, great. So next question we got is from James. James, I'm currently at a VC/trading firm started by a friend of yours. They have lots of business experience, but no venture capital experience. Okay. And it's tough to compete with top VC firms. How are we, if even, able to compete in this industry? Okay, that's a great question, James. And James, the way I'm going to answer this question, and I don't know what firm you're in, okay, but I'm going to just make it generic enough. So venture capital is very, very tough. Okay, most venture capital investments go to zero. Okay, and the most successful venture capital firms, the top 10 or 20 in the world, they have 1% of their companies that become billionaire companies. Okay, billionaire in revenue, meaning annually. Most of them go to zero. The very best firm in the world, and I partnered with them before, is Sequoia, and they're here in the Bay Area. 5% of their investments become unicorns, meaning $1 billion in revenue per year. Most go to zero. Most go to zero. And what happens is it becomes self-fulfilling because the best founders go to the venture capital firms that have had the best track record. Okay, it becomes self-fulfilling because of a couple of reasons. Number one, that venture capital firm will help you grow your business. Number two, that venture capital firm is so awesome that other venture capital firms will want to give you money in future rounds. Okay, so that's what I would say. It's really, really hard, James. And what you can do is get your company, if you want to look into SPVs or special purpose vehicles, which are basically one VC investment portfolio. So if you want to raise money for one deal, okay, but instead of charging a 2% management fee and a 20% incentive fee, James, you can charge a 1% management fee and a 10% incentive fee. If you have more questions about that, please let me know. It's very, very hard to compete in that industry. That's all. It's hard. It's hard. Okay, great. So got a question from Robert. And again, please type your questions here. I don't see that many questions here. So I will wrap up the call when there's no more questions. So please type them now. Thank you. All right. So Robert's got a question. I have 10 years in my resume, but kind of in different areas, meaning in marketing, sales, product management. Companies don't know where to put me as I don't have deep skills in one area I'm focusing on. And after being rejected at, this is a great question. After being rejected at mid and senior roles, hold on a second. After being rejected at mid senior roles, should I bother applying for junior roles? Will companies look down on me or appreciate my passion in their work? Wow. Okay. So Robert, what you got to do is this, and I've been in your situation before, right? And I don't know if you've seen the movie Logan's Run, but a lot of people, I used to work at Goldman, and sometimes people think you expire when you're 30, which is ridiculous. So no, people will not look down upon you at all. And sometimes you got to take one step back in your career so that later you can take two steps forward. And what I would do is instead of focusing on what you want to do next, Robert, I would focus first on why. Why do you want to change careers, right? If it's about money only, then don't do it. But if you're passionate about it, and I guess the money's there as well, then yeah, consider it. Okay, but what I want you to do, and this goes for everybody in the call, is go for a walk. And I love going for walks because you release serotonin and you can think better and speak better. But go for a walk and then just kind of think to yourself, where do I want to be in 10 years? Okay, where am I right now? And where do I want to be in 10 years? And there's a gap. And I want you to think about, after you discover what you want to be at, where you want to be in 10 years, how do you fill that gap? Okay. And so for Robert, you mentioned that you worked in a number of different industries. Maybe you want to run your own company in 10 years. I don't know. But I think it's wonderful, Robert, that you have experience in marketing, sales, product management, et cetera, because when you start your company, you have those skills in all those areas. And I did the same thing as you. I changed careers a number of times. I went from consulting to banking on Wall Street. I did hedge fund, venture capital. It's when I restarted my career a bunch of times, and I've reinvented myself so many times. But when I've done it, yeah, people have been younger than me all around me. To the extent that my boss in one company was younger. Actually, maybe it was two companies. Yeah. But you know what? You learn from them. You learn what to do and what not to do as well. And we all have a different path in life. And I remember I got fired from a company years ago. And I remember thinking, I was saying a prayer. I was thinking, God, why is this happening to me? And I look back now in hindsight, and I'm so happy that I was sent down different paths because it prepared me for what I'm doing now, which is my humble advice to help you all in different industries. So no, you're never too old to start over. And yeah, you might have to take a step back in your career. Right. But just think about 10 years where you want to be first before you make that transition. Okay. And again, go to my website, download my networking book, because I promise you, Robert, it'll help you make that transition. And you should never care and this goes for everybody. And I say this with love my heart. You should never care what people think about you anyway, because what happens is you then make your career all about pleasing other people or impressing other people instead of pleasing and impressing yourself. Okay. So anyway, I did a vlog a couple of days ago on how to create unstoppable confidence. And I want you to watch that, please, all of you, after this webcast is over, after you've entered in all your questions. Okay. So I think that will help. And I also did a vlog a couple of days ago on how to set goals. I want you to watch that as well, because that will help you, Robert, to get to where you want to be in life. A little bit of coffee that I spilled is seeping into the keyboard. Let me wipe it off here. All right. Hopefully I answer your question. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, great. And so what I want you all to do, please, is just entering your questions here as you come up with them. When there's no more questions, I'll end the webcast. That's not a threat. I'm just putting it out there. All right. I got a question here from, thank you for that comment, Geronimo. I got a question here from Geronimo as well. What do you think about trying to be a jack of all trades or a specialist when we talk about skills in business? Okay, great. So the question is, what do you think about being good at many things or just one thing? Okay. I think that when you're younger in your career, meaning under the age of 40, you could, if you rotate between different divisions and you work for somebody else, that's a good, you're learning aspects of business. And a lot of times you'll start a job at a business school or undergrad or high school, whatever. And what will happen is they'll put you in the rotation program where you'll get to rotate between different divisions. And if you don't rotate in your company you're at right now, I want you to reach out and find mentors or Yodas and watch my vlog on how to find mentors. And I want you to get mentors in different divisions, because one day you might want to switch divisions to work in that division, or just get advice from them on how different divisions work. And I humbly believe that a lot of business is common sense. Okay. You have it or you don't. And most people do have good common sense, but there's certain things in business that are not common sense that you have to learn, like accounting and finance. And I know it sounds boring, but it's not. You can watch my introduction to finance course, whatever, or my complete financial analyst course. I always feel bad mentioning my course. It's not why I'm doing it. I just want to help. But the language of accounting and finance is something you got to learn. It's not intuitive. It's like learning a different language, Mandarin, Cantonese, whatever it is. So I think that being a jack of all trades is okay if you move around a lot. But if you move around your company and you have a lot of different roles, or you work at different companies, I want you to think about all the roles you've been in and really think to yourself what you love most. What are you most passionate about? Okay. Because that's the role that you should have for the rest of your life. Okay. So just do what you're most passionate about. And there's no shame in working for a number of different industries before you find your passion. It took me a while to find my passion. And, I did a vlog on, should you get an MBA? And the only reason you should get an MBA is if you want to change careers, but you can't do it by networking. You tried and it didn't work. So hope that answers your question. And I think everybody's goal should be, at one point in your lives, to start your own company, start many companies, because that's the only way that you can live your life on your terms. And I'm going to swear, I rarely do this, but I will now, just to make a point. There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than spending the rest of your life working for somebody else and being someone else's bitch. So if you're frustrated at work, that's actually a good thing. It's a great motivator for you. It's a great motivator to make a change. Do something about it. Learn new skills online. Learn technology skills. Learn how to program from Angela Yu on Udemy, or Rob Percival on Udemy. If you've never coded before, do it. You want to make an app? Take one of Angela Yu's courses. You want to learn about data science? The best business teacher by a mile on Udemy is this guy named Kirill. Take his data science and artificial intelligence courses. They simplify these things and make it so easy to learn that it's actually enjoyable. Fall in love with education again. Make that change. If you're frustrated, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. So, all right. Next question I got from Conrad. Again, if you have questions, please enter them here. When there's no more questions, I'll end the webcast. So next question is from Conrad here. Hi, Chris. Hi, Conrad. Greetings from Poland. Oh, cool. Thank you. They've got to make a movie about Lech Walesa. I mean, that guy was awesome. I mean, he was like Ronald Reagan to me when I was a kid in the 80s. Anyway, great guy. Sorry, off topic. All right. So hi from Poland. What is the best method to organize one's professional life? I try to work as a freelance graphic designer, but I feel inside that I'm not organized well enough. Great question. Okay, so I've got a very, very simple solution for you. Okay, so what I do is every day, and I'm going to provide you with a template. So every single day before I go to bed, my alarm turns, my iPhone goes off at 9 p.m. And at 9 p.m., I fill out this one pager that I have. And it's going to be hard for you to see here, but I took a picture of it here. I usually take a picture of it here. Okay. And I'm going to keep my hand here so the screen doesn't go out. I apologize for this, but on this one pager, I've got a bunch of things that are important to me. Okay. Like my schedule, I have to write in. At the bottom, I score myself at the end of the day out of 100. I lose 10% for everything I don't do right. Have I set time to pray, spend time with my family, and my customers in that order, that sort of thing. And it will really help you. And you'll find that if you want something to get done, give it to a busy person. Okay. The reason is because busy people and successful people, they schedule their days like I just showed you. And that template that I just showed you is in PowerPoint format, and you can download it for free from this web address here. All lowercase always, okay? HarounVentures.com/schedule. Okay, all lowercase, HarounVentures.com/schedule. And you can go into PowerPoint, and I made it really intuitive when you open that document. And then what you can do is, sorry, I'm bleeding right now because I dropped that thing on me earlier in this call. You can go into PowerPoint in that schedule that I created for you, and you can type up what your schedule is for the next day. Okay, and everybody can customize it themselves. And I promise you that if you write down your schedule the night before, you will get way more stuff done the next day. Okay, so just do that. All of you, please try it. Thank you. Okay, great. So next question I've got is from Jonathan. Again, if you have questions, please enter them here. Jonathan, I might have asked this before, but what did you do with your engineering degree? ENGR, I think that means engineering, right? I actually don't have an engineering degree. I have a Bachelor of Commerce undergrad and an MBA in finance. And my undergraduate degree, I actually studied technology as part of my undergraduate degree. So in Canada, it was called in McGill University, which is a fun place to go to. That's where I learned how to drink. I can't drink now, as you can tell. I spilled all over my machine here, but I managed to MIS, which is Management Information Systems, and so I took programming courses. Right, I love business. I love technology. It's fun for me. And I started out initially. I learned some older programming languages. I'm dating myself here. One was COBOL, which stands for Computer-Oriented Business something language. And then I did Pascal. I did some C, C++. And in the 90s, I took courses at night on Java, that sort of thing. So anyway, that my undergraduate was business, but I majored in Management Information Systems, which was it was a lot of fun. So hopefully that answers your question. And if you want to learn technology skills and you never have done it, I don't care how old you are, man. Just go to Udemy or any online learning platform and learn. Learn. Udemy, there's this great teacher I mentioned before, Angela Yu. Check out her courses. She's amazing. Anyway, she'll teach you how to code or create apps from scratch, even if you have no background. And for those of you who have never coded before, it's so satisfying when you create a code and you compile it and it works. It's like a video game. I love it. And people in the technology industry are different from other industries because they're so passionate about what they do. They don't have a job. They have a passion. Love it. And it's fun for them. It's fun. Okay. All right. Next question I've got here. All right. So is from Willem McLovin. How are you, bud? When can we expect a new vlog where I go prop hunting in my backyard? I know, and for those of you that are new to this weekly webcast, Willem is making fun of me, which is a good thing, on all the props that I have here. Like this one here. This was a prop I had for my Bitcoin course. It's a Bitcoin miner. I have props everywhere. This is another one from one of my technology courses, whatever. But yeah, prop hunting is a good thing. It'll be fun. We'll do that, Willem. Thank you. All right. Next question I got is from Rafay. Hey, Rafay, how are you, man? Good to see you again. I love your logo, the Apple logo. Very cool. Hi, Chris. Hope you're fine. I have a question regarding my resume. Should I focus more on concise one-page resume, or should I lay prime focus on geographical aspects, i.e., including graphics, etc.? Sorry, graphics, not geographics. The question is, should I make a one-page resume or a longer one or one with lots of images? No, I believe that the resume format, and I teach this in my course called the Complete Job Course, okay, where I teach how to make a resume and interview and all that stuff. But I believe in using a format that older people that are hiring you are used to, which is the Harvard Business School resume format. It's one page, there's no graphics, and it's very simplistic. And it's broken up into different sections. So at the top, after you put your name and stuff, is your experience, then education, then other activities. Okay, less is more. Keep it simple. If you put too much in your new format, people will just get confused. So anyway, that's my humble thoughts on that. All right, next question is from James. Let me just scroll down here. He writes another question. If I transition from biotech to finance, I'm learning financial modeling, sales, and management. What other skills should I learn, and which should I prioritize? Okay. So there's a saying in Silicon Valley that you can teach finance to an engineer, but you cannot teach engineering to a finance person. It's a lot easier, and I'll give you my take on that in a second. It's a lot easier to learn finance than it is to learn engineering. But you can learn engineering online on Udemy or other places, YouTube, etc. So for you, it's a tough question, man. Good one though. Okay, I would focus first, James, on financial modeling, anything that involves finance and accounting. And the reason is because, as I mentioned earlier, finance and accounting is not common sense. You either have it or you don't. Most of us do have common sense. And so you got to, the only things in business that are not common sense are finance and accounting. So start with that, please. Okay, next question. All right, from the Dane. Hi, Chris. Why is there no VC for tourism? Especially, I wonder why no one is making a fund that would fund a giant tourism project like the Eiffel Tower, Big Eye, Tivoli, et cetera. That's a great question. Okay, so there are venture capital firms that have invested in tourism-related companies in the past. Okay, so for example, there's TripAdvisor, and I know that one well because I worked in venture capital and I passed on that deal, and that company was bought eventually. Stupid Chris. But there's also Expedia, which is huge in Europe through their bookings.com subsidiary. There's a lot of technology companies in the tourism industry that have gotten funding. Now, when it comes to other stuff that you mentioned here, like building the Eiffel Tower through a VC fund or Big Eye in London, that big, I guess, that big Ferris wheel, the reason is because they're not incredibly profitable. Private equity firms do this. Okay, so a lot of times what will happen is not venture capital firms, but private equity firms and other types of companies will buy roads and toll booths in countries. And they do that because they know that they can collect tolls on a bridge for a number of years. And so a lot of governments are starting to get creative and sell off their bridges, sell off their roads and stuff. And so, yes, private equity firms do that sort of thing. Now, when it comes to something like the Eiffel Tower, that was created for, I think, the World's Fair over 100 years ago or whatever it was. And it was never thought to be, a profit center. And the problem with these big items is that they're very CapEx intensive. It takes a lot of capital to make them. And a lot of venture capital firms never want to invest in companies that make stuff because then you have inventory problems. Think about it this way. In the technology sector, I can't remember the last time a venture capital firm invested in a semiconductor company or a big computer company. Okay, they usually invest in things more so that are scalable. Okay, and as you create your business models, this goes for everybody, please think about products or companies you start that don't have inventory, because inventory can destroy a company. And for those of you that are interested in learning more about inventory, go to YouTube, do a search on ET, video game desert. There was an awful video game that destroyed Atari and the whole video game sector in the mid 80s. The video game was E.T. It was so bad. My dad bought it for me for Christmas. I was excited. It was terrible. You were E.T. and you're chasing this Reese's peanut butter whatever thing. It was terrible, and they made too much of this ET product, and it didn't sell, and so they buried all of them in the desert. Go to eBay, you can buy them as well. They're actually collector's items now. All right. All right. Next question is, oh wow, you mentioned that heavy capex but great cash flow for the next 200 years. Okay, yeah, I think I answered the question, and if I didn't, please let me know. Okay. And then pardon me, Robert Finley. I don't know if you saw this, but the Dane had a tip for you here. Thank you. I love that. Question from Stephen. Hi, Stephen. I'm hesitant to make a full jump from my secure job to a commission-based financial advisory role. I hear you. Any insight into secure roles I could transition into to gain more experience in the financial industry? That's a great question. So most jobs in the finance industry are sales, and they're commission-based. And you usually get a base salary, and then your commission's amazing. If you can, it's meritocracy. You eat what you kill. But it's tough. It's tough. What I would recommend is maybe do something on the side first. And I think everybody on this call should have a side hustle, at least one, maybe two, maybe three. And if you're allowed to, whatever. And I would do it. And your goal should be to wean yourself off of your current employer, so you can start your own company one day. Always have a number of side hustles on the side, okay? And so, James or Stephen, with respect to financial services, start by going to Fiverr.com. That's Five with two R's, Fiverr.com, and do a search on financial services roles. That might give you an idea on side hustles you can do in the finance industry. Okay, all right. And if you don't find anything there, let me know, and I'll come up with a new idea for you. Thanks. Okay, hold on one second here. Okay, so James has got a question. And Stephen, one more quick thing. You can even intern if you want to. And usually interns do it for free. Okay. And whenever interns have approached me, it's happened before. They say, I want to come on board for free. And a lot of times I brought them on board and then I ended up paying them. Right. But it just shows their dedication. So maybe you try to do an internship on the weekends, Stephen, with a finance company and work for free. Okay. Offer to work for free. And I was so desperate to get out of Wall Street and work for a hedge fund. That's what I did. I said, I went to these hedge funds. I said, I'll work for free. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to pay for my standard of living in New York if I do that? But they ended up paying me, which is fine. Worked out well. All right. Next question. But one more, Stephen, don't do it for the money though. Don't do finance for the money. Make sure you enjoy it. Okay. Otherwise what happens is, if you chase money, you lose your dreams. If you chase your dreams, they do come true if you're okay with failing a couple times, and the money comes accidentally. All right, next question I've got is James. James, you mentioned networking to change careers often, but how do you sell yourself without the background experience or skills? Okay. So the way you do it is this. Whenever you meet with people, pardon me, whenever you meet with people through networking, before your meeting starts, I want you to think about, what can I give this person to help them do one of three things? Number one, make more money, get promoted faster, or get new customers. And what you can do is, before you set up that meeting, before you meet with that person, I want you to think about what would help that person. I'm not talking about bribes, but new customers might help that person. And I want you to go to that meeting with a list of customers that you've found by networking yourself, by talking to your friends or using LinkedIn, whatever it is, and provide this person in this informational meeting with a piece of paper with potential customers. And at the end of the meeting, you say, I'd be more than happy to introduce you to these customers if you want me to, these potential customers. If I can be resourceful in any way, please let me know. And what will happen is, in general in life, if you give, you receive. And what happens is, and all my best business deals in my career have come through people I've helped over the years. And that's not why I've done it. I just done it through the goodness of my heart, whatever. But just help them out. And if you help them, I promise you, they will help you. And if you help them out tremendously, they might take you under their wing and give you a job, even though you have no experience in that area. Okay. Or what you can do if you don't have skills in that area is you can take online courses and learn those new skill sets and put certificates, whatever, on your resume if you want to, that sort of thing. Okay. Or just read about it, read about the industries. If you're passionate about it and there's a will, there's a way. Okay. All right. Next question is from Sam. Hey, Sam, how are you? Okay. From the Udemy, pardon me. I'm so sorry, but I'm having trouble scrolling down because I spilled coffee on my computer. All right, hold on a second. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. All right. Sam says, from the Udemy Mini MBA course, you said you followed my role regarding networking through LinkedIn, and you met a person at Stanford GSB, that's Graduate School of Business admissions, even in the Midwest. Good for you. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, I remember you. You mentioned this in LinkedIn last night, and I told you come to this podcast. Good for you. And if you have a question on how to take that to the next level, please let me know here on the call, and I'll help you out. But good for you, man. Yeah, you got and it's companies. If you think about it, for every one position there is in business school or in a company, thousands of resumes are sent, and it's so hard to differentiate yourself, right? Your resume is just one of thousands. The only way to differentiate yourself is to network and meet with people that work there or can help you get your foot in the door. It's the only way. That's why I spend so much time talking about networking in my courses and on this vlog here. All right, good for you, Sam. That's awesome. All right, so Sam's got a follow-up on that too. All right, and Geronimo, I'll get to your question in a second. So Sam is saying, I got his name and messaged him. He's a vice president at an AI tech unicorn company. I have a meeting with him soon at a cafe. Is there anything that I should avoid to him or any other advices during our meeting? You went to talk to him regarding Stanford University Graduate School of Business, admissions, career startup ideas, how to pursue things. Okay, yeah. So what I would do is whatever you meet with somebody that is somebody that wants to hire you, maybe, or help you, make sure that it shows that you don't lack focus. Okay. So, for example, to make this generic so it helps everybody in this call, obviously, if you're meeting with somebody for an informational meeting or an interview that works in the finance department, and you want to work in the finance department, don't talk about your love for sales or your love for marketing, whatever, that sort of thing. So just, Sam, when you meet with this person, just make sure you let them know why Stanford Business School, okay? And why you. And the trick about getting to business school is also a very compelling essay, okay, that differentiates you from everybody else. So be able to say how you're different and what you can add to the student body, meaning to other students, what can they learn from you? Okay, that's always the way. You sell yourself by saying, here's what I have to offer, that sort of thing, okay? Not what's in it for me. Hopefully I answered your question. If it doesn't, please let me know. Oh, and one more thing, Sam, and for anybody that wants to go to business school, there's a great book you should read. It's very short, it's 150 pages, and it'll help you with your essays. And it's called Marketing Yourself to the Top Business Schools by two people, Carpenter and Carpenter, husband and wife, I think. Marketing Yourself to the Top Business Schools. Get it from Amazon. I used it to get it. All right, next question is from Haroun. Haroun, sorry for my ignorance, never. But is it possible to work for a VC firm straight out of business school? It's a great question. Absolutely. Happens all the time. A lot of Stanford University MBA graduates go to work in VC, and Harvard as well. HBS, 2/3 of HBS is BS. But here in the Valley, I would say that it's probably Harvard first. Stanford first, Harvard second for MBAs that work right out of business school to go in VC, and then Wharton, Columbia, whatever. You can do it, but I don't advise doing it. I don't advise doing it unless you have startup experience, because you won't progress to the next level. You won't make partner or general partner. And the reason you probably won't is because when you're in venture capital, you're there because you started other companies before, and you sit on boards of startups and you can help them grow their business. If you've never started a company before, it's hard to help a CEO out with their business model. So I don't advise doing it right out of business school. Get experience first. Okay. Thank you. All right. Next question is from, but Haroun, if you want to work in VC, then, and you don't need an MBA, man. Just start a couple companies. Okay. Start a couple companies. And do you know what? This is awesome. You'll love this. So Google, Apple, Facebook, IBM, Bank of America, and many other companies do not require you to have a university degree anymore to get a job there. Okay. It's all about networking, man. It's all about networking. Relationships are more important than product knowledge. Set up those informational meetings, one every week forever. Okay. All right. Next question. Pardon me. Sorry. Next question is, hold on. I just gotta trying to get the coffee out of my keyboard there. Sorry. I'm doing this because I can't see all the questions because the mouse keeps moving everywhere. All right. For those of you just joining us, don't ever spill coffee on your keyboard like I did. Hold your coffee with two hands. All right. All right. Next question. Okay. From Geronimo. Do I have any other instructors or courses that I'd recommend? Yeah. If you want to learn, if you want to learn about artificial intelligence in the business sector, there's a guy named Kirill. He's awesome. He's amazing. Take his courses. And then if you want to learn how to program from scratch, I would start with Rob Percival and Angela Yu. Okay. They're both amazing. They're both in England and they have an English accent, which means they speak gooder than I do. You know what I mean? Why is it we always assume people with English accents are smarter than me? Okay. So I would start with those ones there. And just whatever passion. I took a course on drawing because I want to learn how to draw. Anyway, whatever your passion is, just sort by the number of stars. Okay, so try to get 4.5 or higher. I've got a couple that are 4.4, which is disappointing, but don't take my 4.4 courses. All right. Next question I've got is from Lei Zhu, which is Dante. Dante, how are you? How's Montreal? My favorite city, or second favorite city now, actually, after Rio. Hold on a second. I'm buying time because my mouse is not working. All right. So Dante's got a question. Hey, Chris, sorry for being late, please. I worked until midnight yesterday, and this morning I was locked out of out of my room. So I'm listening to you now to our calls in the library. Awesome. Thanks. I love your dedication. And you sent me a message earlier about business models and business plans. And I'll have that business plan course done soon. So you'll be able to create your business plan using my template. Thank you. And always good to have you. Okay, another question from Robert. Chris, thank you. Logan's Run is an awesome movie. Check THX 1138, another sci-fi classic from George Lucas. Yeah, that's George Lucas's first movie was called THX 1138. Yeah, and that's why you see THX sound at the beginning. You know, the audience is listening. Yeah, very cool. Thank you. I'll check it out. They should make another version of Logan Run, a more recent version. Okay. Next question I've got here is from Robert. I watched your MBA course and learned never to use your own money to start a business. True for any enterprise venture, but what about for a local only small business? Okay, that's fair. So if you start your own company, okay, make sure that first of all, don't use credit cards. 50% of startups max out their credit cards. And what happens is if you max out your credit cards, you can't get a mortgage, whatever. Don't do that. Use money that you've saved. Okay. Don't use a bank loan because banks, if you miss one payment, they'll come after you, take your house away, which will hurt your family. Okay. So before you do anything, of course, register your company as an LLC or limited liability corporation. Whatever legal structure, talk to a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, please. Talk to a lawyer. Go to legalzoom.com if you want. Register your company first so that if there are financial issues or somebody sues you, God forbid, they can't take your house away or hurt your kids' standard of living, your family's standard of living. Okay. Don't do a loan because, again, they can take your house if you don't register your company, whatever. Save money first. Okay. Save up a lot of money and start slowly. Like if you're just dabbling in real estate for the first time, and you can take my complete personal finance course to learn about this. But if you're just dabbling into real estate, start with a small real estate investment, tiny apartment first. Okay. Always start out small and only invest money you have to lose. That's what I would say. And I've always started so many companies on the side. And you guys have no idea how much I've failed. I've started them on the side. I didn't want my employers to know. And I hated working for other people. Some of them actually I enjoyed. They're nice. But most, And I started companies on the side, and you should do the same as well. Okay, do the same until one takes off, and the spark it starts to it leads to a fire, and then you can say sayonara and start your own thing. Okay, all right. Next question I've got is from Michael Jordan. Okay, Michael, you said you're 68 here. You were Michael Jordan before MJ 423 even existed. All right, hold on one second. I'm so sorry. I lost my place here. Oh, boy. Hold on, guys. I'm scrolling down. Okay. All right, here we go. Michael Jordan. Thank you, Michael. Chris, I'm 68. I'm a consultant. Our economy is not great at present. The company is downsizing. Do I offer to work for free and ask for 30% of the incremental revenue, or will they think I'm crazy? Michael, that's a great question. And that's tough. I've been there. I've been there. So before I answer that question, this is for you, obviously, Michael, and for everybody else. The best way to avoid getting fired on a restructuring round is every 2 or 3 months, sit down with your boss and ask, how am I doing? And what can I do to add more value? And what can I do to get promoted to the next level? Okay. And then once you fulfill the criteria they outline for you, remind them. Okay. And if you always ask, what can I do to avoid getting let go? Then the chances of you getting let go down a lot. Or if there's a chance of a restructuring, a general restructuring, what will happen is they'll tip you off. And I will answer your question, Michael, in a second. But in every big company, and a lot of people, and Michael, you probably agree with me, but do you remember previous recessions or economic downturns, how somehow human resources let it leak to the rest of the company that there was going to be downsizing? Do you remember that? And this goes for everybody. That's done on purpose because it helps you to, we want to help you find another job instead of letting you go. And I got let go as part of a restructuring effort. It happens to everybody, and you're not a real person until it happens to you. But Michael, what I would do is I would meet with whoever your supervisor is, if you have one, and just talk to them. And I know you're a consultant, it's a little bit different, but talk to your contact at the company that hired you as a consultant, and ask them. Just be very open and say, off the record, I know there might be some changes. I have a family support, and I hope you appreciate the fact that I have to ask you this question. And then what you do is you just ask about, will there be restructuring, and if so, can you help me? Can you help me and let me know what I need to do? What do I need to do to ensure that my position is not eliminated, my consulting gig is not eliminated? And if they tell you, if they tell you that there's nothing you can do, it's going to happen, then what you do is you do that plan B, which you mentioned there, which is, how about a pay cut? And you can pay me based on the value I add, kind of like commission based. There's no shame in that as a plan B. Do that. Always do that. Always do that. Okay. And if that doesn't work, or that doesn't answer your question, please let me know. And Michael, I don't think you're crazy. You wrote here, do you think I'm crazy? No, man, I've done exactly what you've done before. And I'm always very paranoid in business too. And Andy Grove, the late great CEO of Intel, wrote this great book called Only the Paranoid Survive. And there's nothing wrong with being proactive and preemptive and strategic like this. And the last thing I'll say on this topic is that for any of you going through this, just remember that relationships are more important than product knowledge. And the person that hired you as a consultant or full-time likes you as a person, I'm sure, as well. And just make sure you, pardon me, you stay in contact with them. Make sure you have many mentors or rabbis or whatever you call it there to help you in your career. Always. And this is why it's good to have mentors in different departments as well. So that if this happens, an unfortunate situation like this, you have a plan B in another department. They can hire you in the other department, or they can give you advice on what to do so that you don't get let go. Okay. And again, Michael, if that did not answer your question, please let me know. And I love the fact that you're 68. And Michael, remember earlier in this call how I said that you're 26 years younger than you think, because the life expectancy is now, since 1950, 26 years higher now. So you're not 68, you're 58, you're 40, you're in your 40s. I can't do math. Okay. Anyway, it's never too late to start over again. And Michael, Michael, if this is just going to you, Michael, it's between, I want you to watch the vlog I posted yesterday, which was my vlog on how to fix every problem in the world using education. It was my speech in Brazil, because I talk about ages and whatnot as well. And the average age of somebody starting a company in the United States is over 50. And look at you, you run your own company, your own consulting firm. That's awesome. Good for you. It's amazing. All right, cool. Next question is from Dante Lay. How are you? My question is, how do you build a viable business while traveling around the world? I've tried the Shopify thing, as you know, I do know. But the issue is that competition is fierce for small electronics. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it's really, really hard. So what I've done before is I've started many companies. I used to go to Alibaba's website called AliExpress.com, and I would import things, right, from China, really cheap things like iPhone cases, and I would sell them over eBay. And I kept trying over and over and over again in small quantities until something took off. And then my kids and I, we scaled the crap out of it. It was fun. So I don't want you to think about it in terms of products like that, though, Dante. I want you to think about stuff that doesn't have inventory. Okay. I want you to think about a business model. Maybe you can freelance on the side, Dante, like using Fiverr.com. That can be your side hustle, Fiverr.com. Maybe you can start another company on the side that's just internet based. Okay. And it doesn't cost you any money to start a company anymore. It's basically free. Right? Creating a website with WordPress is free. Telecom is free using Skype. Microsoft Office, you can use Google Docs, whatever. All that stuff is free. And so you can travel the world and start companies for free online. And what I used to do, I did crazy things. I mean, I tried everything. I remember one of the companies I started, I didn't advertise in the East Coast or West Coast of the United States because I didn't want people I work with or for to find out about it. So I would advertise in certain states, right? I'd try Alaska, or I did Pakistan once, which actually worked out really well. It was a different market completely. I experimented like crazy, but everybody that's incredibly successful, I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about other people, obviously, but anybody that's ever very, very successful has failed over and over and over again until they've succeeded. Anyway, so by the way, I just found out that this is just a magnet, but this is a Fleer rookie card for Michael Jordan, which costs, I think, 30 grand. Go to eBay. It's great if it's in perfect shape. So anyway, way off topic. Sorry. Dante's got another question. I want to go to other parts of the world and study different companies and network with the CEO of different cultural backgrounds. Yeah, man, you can do it. You don't have to go around the world to do that. You can, you're in Montreal and you could, 4-hour drive down to Toronto or 5-hour drive, whatever. If you're speeding like I do, you can go to a lot of shareholder meetings. And this is Michael, this is for you as well. And Dante and everybody in this call. Don't waste time talking to people and companies that aren't decision makers. Go right to the top. You got nothing to lose. Go to the CEO. And this is for everybody in this call. I want to teach you how to meet with a CEO. Okay. Anybody can meet any CEO you want. Yes, that's right. Here's how you do it. And you can watch my vlog on this topic if you want more details. But the bottom line is this: go to the annual shareholder meetings. Okay, Dante, you can go to Toronto. There's a bunch there, especially financial services, because Toronto's a financial services city. Go to annual shareholder meetings. And you'll find that they're really boring meetings with really bad coffee, with spill-proof cups. They're really, really boring meetings, and not many people go. A bunch of older, shareholders, they don't give a damn. And then what will happen is after the CEO finishes speaking, the CEO will not leave until everybody else leaves. Okay, meaning you can go to it. It's like Wedding Crashers, but you don't have to be Owen Wilson. It's easier to get in. Just walk in and corner the CEO. Okay, and talk to the CEO. And this CEO will talk to you for as long as you want, because the CEO is setting a good example. And around the CEO are other executives, the CFO, the chief marketing officer, if it exists there, et cetera, and board members. And so, of course, that CEO is going to talk to you and set a good example. And during that meeting, what I want you to do is this, Lay and Dante. And I mentioned this, Dante, for you as well, because if you want to learn about, cross-cultural management in different companies, a lot of CEOs, especially in Toronto, were born overseas. It's a wonderful multicultural city. And during that conversation with the CEO at the board meeting, talk to them, exchange business cards, and go to a website called moo.com. That's M with two O's.com. And Michael, do this as well, okay? MOO.com. Great thick business cards make you look like a pro, okay? Exchange business cards and ask the CEO, is there anybody in your company you can recommend that I can speak to about my product I want to sell or the job you want to get, whatever it is, or do you have time to sit down? And of course, they're going to say yes. They want to be approachable because the board is watching and other investors might be watching and other top employees are watching as well. Okay, that's the only way to do it. And I can't believe it took me years and years and years in my career to realize that. Okay, all right. And if you have follow-up questions on that, please let me know. If you guys have questions, please answer them now. When there's no more questions, I'm going to wrap up this call. Thank you. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question, Dante. Give me 1 second. Okay. So Dante is saying, my dream. I love when questions start with that. My dream is to connect people around the world and build a platform which inspires people that have learning disabilities to start businesses like you and I. I think people are led by examples. If they see others who are similar to them and have freedom, they'd be willing to take action. Oh my God, I'm almost tearing up. Good for you, Dante. That's awesome. That's awesome. Be a role model. And you know what, dude? When one teaches, two learn. And so as you help people that might have disabilities or are disadvantaged, you're going to be helping yourself as well. It's a beautiful thing when one teaches, two learn. Good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. That is awesome. Empowering the empowerers. Good for you. That's amazing. And if you have specific questions about a platform to do that, let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions here on the webcast. Thank you. God bless you for that. That's wonderful. Okay, great. Let me scroll down a bit here. Thank you, Patrick, for that. I appreciate it. Okay, another question is, do you know any way to start or invest in an infrastructure business? I'm particularly passionate about infrastructure like you because a lot of Asian companies are, let me just scroll down, are being lifted out of poverty due to government spending and infrastructure transportation, such as high-speed rail. Okay, yeah. So it's really hard. So the reason that governments mainly invest in infrastructure is because they're very capex intensive projects. They cost a fortune. And the way that governments do this is they issue bonds. Okay, so when you buy a bond, so governments don't make enough money. And actually, I'm going to explain how interest rates go up and down in this next answer here, okay? So, and this will make sense with infrastructure, your question as well. So the way that governments build things like roads or bridges, and hopefully not walls, is they don't have enough tax money to do it unless you're the Chinese government. Okay, so other countries, what they do is they issue bonds. So the United States will give you a bond, right? And in return, you'll give the United States government money, and the government will use these proceeds to build that bridge or whatever they want to do with it. Okay, and you'll get high interest rate on that bond. Now, because the government took money out of society, that money is retired, it's gone. Okay, a lot of it. Since there's less money out there, the price of money goes up. Okay, just like avocados. When there's a shortage in avocados, they cost a lot of money in the grocery store. Supply and demand, that's how it works. And so, Dante, I mentioned that because these projects are so incredibly capex intensive that usually it's governments that do it. Okay, obviously governments hire construction companies to do it, right? But these big infrastructure companies or these big companies that make nuclear reactors for clean energy, a lot of the times they're only customers to government. So hopefully that answers your question. But I love that you're thinking along those lines. Thank you. And it's interesting though, because I'm going to talk about the Japanese economy in World War II and what happened. So too much government help though is not a good thing. It leads to the opposite of survival of the fittest. Okay, so after World War II, there's this great man named Michael Porter. You probably heard of him. He teaches at Harvard Business School. He created the Five Forces model. Michael Porter, in the year 2000, he wrote this book called Can Japan Compete? And he wrote about the Japanese economy. And the fascinating thing based on this research is that after World War II, the Japanese economy was obviously in very bad condition. The whole economy was destroyed. And so what the Japanese government did after World War II is they created these infrastructure projects and subsidies, and they gave money to every subsector in the economy, every single one except for two. And the two sectors they did not give money to were number one, consumer electronics, and number two, autos. Okay, those are the two sectors that Japanese companies are most dominant in. So anyway, a little side note there. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me grab some of my shake here. My stomach is grumbling. If you have questions, please type them now. When I see no more questions, I'll wrap up the call. Thank you, but I'll stay forever. All right, next question I've got. Let me just scroll down here. Looks like my mouse is acting better now. Okay, a question from Mitchell Jackson. Mitchell, hi. This is the first time I've seen you on the call. Welcome. I hope you'll join us again. And this goes for everybody that's new in this call. Michael, Jordan, everybody, please join us every week. This is fun. All right, so I got a question here from. I'm so sorry. Don't go anywhere, but the screen just jumped because of the coffee spill. Here we go, Mitchell. Sorry. Again, answer your questions. When there's no more questions, we'll wrap up the call. Mitchell's got a question. Hi, Chris. I'm a huge fan. Thank you. I was wondering how well an unpaid private equity internship would look on a resume, since I'm trying to get my foot in the door in private equity world. The internship is in New York. Good for you. Good for you. Mitchell, I did the same thing. I tried with hedge funds. Eventually, I did get paid, which is fine. Whatever. Not a huge amount, but it's fine. Yeah, do it, man. Whatever it takes. If you can stomach not living with a salary for a little while, okay? And most people that have ever amounted to anything in life have lived very cheaply when they're starting their careers or companies. When I used to go to New York, and this goes for everybody on the call that wants to go to New York City for informational meetings, okay? I used to do it. I go from Toronto, where I lived. And what I would do to save money is I would just do all my meetings in one day. I'd fly Air Canada, first flight in, last flight out. Or if I had to stay in a hotel, I'd stay at the 47th Street YMCA. I think it's 47th Street, because it cost like $70 a night, which is cheap for New York. You had to share bathrooms, whatever, but it was cheap. So yeah, good for you, Mitchell. Definitely do it, man. Definitely do it if you can. It'll look really good, because obviously the way that you get into industry is the best way is if you have experience. Absolutely, I would be all over that. Right. And try to, I remember I met with Henry Kravis. He went to my business school. He's older than me. He said he was a straight C student, by the way. Grades don't matter ever. Right. It's how you network. I think one of his biggest successes was he networked a lot. Okay. And this is for Mitchell. If you want to learn about, see a great movie about private equity, I want you to watch a movie with Danny DeVito called OPM, it's called Other People's Money. OPM. I think you'll enjoy that. Okay. But yeah, definitely do a lot of networking that way. All right. I don't see any more questions. I haven't answered your question yet. Please type them now. If you have questions, type them or before we wrap up this call. But again, stay forever. It looks like we got another one here from Dante. Thanks. Dante said that I've connected with many people on LinkedIn. However, a lot of them only, sorry, my mouse is fucking up again. Sorry for swearing. I've connected with many people on LinkedIn. However, a lot of them only accept my requests, but never respond. What can I do with my situation? Do I keep messaging them until they respond? I'd message them twice. If you do it 3 times or more, it won't be helpful. But Dante, I don't know what you do in these messages. Make sure it's simple. Less is more. Here's what you do. Okay. The message should be this. The subject line is hi, because everybody opens LinkedIn messages with the subject line hi. And then in the contents of the message, I want you to type this. John, for example, hope all is well. I also went to CEGEP school, whatever you went to in Montreal. And I'm also from X country, whatever it is. Please let me know if you have time for coffee in the next few weeks. Thanks a lot, Chris or Dante. And what you did there is you used the word please, thank you. You kept it short, less is more. And you listed something you had in common. And I promise you that people that have something in common with you, they want to help you. They want to turn this upside down just to get the rest of the coffee out of there. They want to help you. All you got to do is ask. Okay, but make sure, Dante, the hook is that they have something in common with you. And Michael, if you're still on the call, I'm sure you know that too. When it comes to consulting, a lot of your success, Michael, in the consulting industry comes from networking with people, and probably people have something in common with you too. Maybe they went to the same school, the same hometown as you, the same interests, etc. Okay. And question I got here is from JP. Hey, JP, how are you, man? JP is, how do I find the right mentor? Okay, so similar to how I answered the question just now for Dante, mentors are people usually that have something in common with you. Okay, they want to help you for a reason, because they want to help and because you remind them of themselves years ago. Okay, so I want you to approach somebody that has a similar background to you. Maybe they're from the same hometown, the same school, and they work in your company, or they don't work in your company. Just use the methodology I explained in my answer a second ago to Dante on how to set up those mentoring meetings. Okay. But you also want to meet with people that are in a position you want to be in, right? And I used to spend a lot of time looking on LinkedIn at profiles of people that worked in industries that I want to be in. And if I had something in common with them, I would meet them. I would look at their profile closely, and whatever skills they had, I would get those skills. So that's what I would say. And you want to have multiple mentors as well, as I talked about with Michael earlier in the call, in case there's a restructuring incident that occurs in your company. Okay, great. Dude, this computer is fried. All right. All right, hold on a second here. So, you're welcome, Stephen. Thanks. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to open up the browser again here. Okay, give me 1 second here, okay, guys. All right. And for those of you that are just joining us, I spilled coffee on my computer here, so I can't see the keyboard. So it closed the window. I'm opening up another browser. I promise you this will be fast. So sorry about this. Very unprofessional. Okay, great. So let me scroll down to the bottom. Okay, great. Oh, you're welcome, Stephen. Oh, Michael, another question for you. Thanks. Michael, please join us next week. I love your questions. So Michael is 42 because 68, because we're all 26 years younger. Excellent. Thank you. I run my own company and offer services to client companies which are downsizing. So my revenue stream would be affected. Appreciate your answer, but how would I address it from that angle? I'm not sure I understand. Are you like kind of like George Clooney in that movie Up in the Air, where you kind of give advice on downsizing in that respect? Please let me know the question, because I don't, it's my fault. I don't fully understand it. Sorry. Okay, your revenue. Okay, so your revenue stream, if I understand this correctly, and please type if I'm not, your revenue stream would be negatively impacted by an economic downturn because you give consulting advice on downsizing. So what I would do is, if you think about a portfolio of investments, right? You got real estate, stocks, commodities, bonds, etc. You always want to diversify. You don't want to just own stocks. And the same thing with a company. You don't want to just have revenue streams from one customer, right? It's deadly. So maybe think about diversifying by having revenue streams from another customer or another type of customer. Okay, that's what I would say. And usually governments are great customers, because governments, there's no paying issues. Obviously, they're all credit worthy usually, and they tend to spend more when the economy is not doing well. Okay, so I would think about that, Michael. I would get okay. Thank you. Yeah, try and get government contracts as well, and not just big corporate customers. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Are there any other questions? Okay, if there aren't any other questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up this call. So if you do have a question, please enter your question right now here. Otherwise, I'll wrap it up. Okay, it looks like there's no more questions. So I want to thank all of you for your time. And what we do is usually within a day, we have all the questions. You're welcome, Michael. We have all the questions written up, actually, the times to them in the description field. So if you go to previous webcasts, if you scroll down, you see a question that you're interested in, you click on it, it'll jump right to that time, so I can save you time, so you can avoid coffee incidents. So we'll have that written up in the description field, probably by the end of today or end of tomorrow. Again, I want to thank you very much, all of you, for your time today. I'm very sorry for the unprofessional nature of spilling this coffee on my computer. That's why I couldn't scroll down fast enough. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next webcast. Please sign up for my vlog if you haven't already. And have a wonderful week, and God bless. Thank you.